Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see related to Django framework, why that framework is required, why it is so popular in the market, and finally we'll end our session by developing a small application in this video. So let's see. So we are going to start an introduction to Django. So why the frameworks are required, or why a framework is required to start a web application. Is it possible to develop a web application without a framework? Yes, it can be. But frameworks make your development faster. Okay, they develop your application within less time as compared to the application that has been developed without a framework. So it's a powerful framework which is written in Python. Okay, so now say also if you are new to this Django app, but you know the Python, but at the end of this session you are going to get how to develop an application, how to start a small application in Django. So let's see further. Now what is Django? So Django is an advanced Python framework that promotes a development and clean practical design, managing the complexity so that you can focus on the business logic. Means what? The foundation which is required to develop a web application is something that is given by Django ready-made. Now what you have to do? You will have to focus on a business logic. Means what? What is this business logic? So business logic is nothing but the requirement that is given by your client, which is very important. So what this frameworks helps you? They help you that we are there too. We gives you the foundation. We gives you everything. But now you focus on your business logic rather than doing everything from the scratch. So Django is something that frameworks which help you to faster your development. Now the Django, which is built on a principle that is called as a MVT. So it is which is similar to the MVC principle that is there in other frameworks. So in MVT, M stands for model, which is nothing but a table in the database. Now the template, which is nothing but a front end, that is something, an HTML file, because to develop a web application you require a front end. Front end means you are going to develop some HTML code, some HTML file. Okay, so that will be a front end, and then there is a back end. So at the back end there is something called as view, in which you are going to write a logic where the main logic takes place and the database. So this structure is MVT, that is model, view and template. So that is what the core architecture of your Django. Okay, and based on that we are going to develop an application. So let's move further. So now we have seen what is the need of Django, what is a Django. Now let's see some of the basic settings that is required to start your project. Okay, so these are some of the basic settings that are required to start your project. So first of all, you must have Python installed on your system. If you don't have the Python installed on your system, you are not going to work with the Django, because you know that to install any package or anything in Python we require pip. So pip comes with the Python. So you must have a Python installed on your system. Then you can follow the steps which is shown on your screen, that you will have to open your command prompt. Once you open your command prompt, you need to start with pip install Django. So that command actually install the Django into your system. And then in order to check the version of the Django or whether it has been installed properly or not, you need to follow the third command, that is python-m Django-version. That gives you the version of the installed Django. Now after this step, see it practically. So in this video we can see you have opened the command prompt and we are writing a code, that is writing a command, that is pip install Django, and if you hit the enter after this command, it will start collecting the packages. It's going to download those packages that are required and it's going to install. So the installation time, downloading time depends upon the internet speed. Okay, so faster the internet, then it will take less time to download and install those packages. Now once these packages are installed, we'll get a message. So as you are looking into this, successfully installed these packages. So now it has installed all the packages, and now in order to check the version, we can have this command python-m Django-version. So that gives you the version of the Django which is over here 5.1.1. So in this code, we have run only the two commands, that is Python install Django to install the Django into a system, and then you have fired another command to check the version. Now let's move further. So now once we have installed Django, which is a prerequisite in our system, and we have also checked the version, now it's a time to create a project in Django. So let's see the steps that are required to create a project in Django. So again, you will have to open a command prompt, and from the command prompt, by using a command called as cd, that is change directory, you will have to navigate to the folder or a directory in which you are going to have everything, all the files related to your project. Next, step 3 is create a new project. Once you have navigated, okay, we are going to see, once you have navigated to that particular project, you are going to fire that command that is going to create a project which is in front of you in step number 3, that is Django admin start project and the name of your project. Okay, so last you will have to give the name of your project. It can be any blog management project, so you can give a blog, any meaningful name given to your project, you will have to write it over here. After that, once you have executed this command, it's going to create a folder with this name. Then on step 4, you will have to navigate to that folder, because we are going to work in that project folder. We have everything, all the files that are required in that folder. So we need to navigate to that folder, and by using this command, that is cd, that is change directory, and then at the end you will have to run a development server, okay, by using the command called as python manage.py run server, that will run your server, and then we are able to run our app. So this is how we are going to create our project, and then we are going to run the server. But there is a step in between while creating a project and before running your development server. There is something called as you need to create an app. So that also we are going to see. Let's see this further. So in this video, we are going to create a project. Okay, so Django-admin start project, and the name of the project is my project we are giving. So once this is done, the my project folder is created in the system. So we are going to navigate to that project folder, that is my project. So by using the command cd my project, so you can see over here we are into that particular directory. So now we need to have run that server. So python manage.py run server. With the help of that, we can run our server. So you can see the server is running at this localhost and this port number. So this is the steps. These are the steps that we have seen to create a project and to run the server. Now let's move further. Now once we have done in creation of the Django project, now let's move on in creating a Django application. So because the Django project structure is, it has only one project and multiple application based on the requirement we can create. So now how to create an application? Let's see those steps. So creating an application has a command, just like we have seen how in order to create a Django project, it was python-admin n start project and project name. Similar to that, you can see python manage.py start app and the name of your app. The name of app taken over here is hello app. So once that is done, okay, again you need to add hello app to the installed app. This is something called as setting that we are going to see. So once you have created an application, it must be recognized by the Django. So there is a setting.py file in the file those that has been created. In that settings.py file, you will have to write the name of your app or include the name of your app in that installed app section. If you are not including your app in the installed app section, Django is not going to recognize that app. Okay, so that is what the second step, you will have to add that. Then after that, we are going to create a view. The view name that we have seen previously in MVT, that is model, view and template. So V stands for view. That view we are going to create, which is nothing but a business logic. It's simply a function that we need to define, and then we are going to see how that function will be executed. So that is what the third step is. And last, the URL mapping, which is very, very important, because when we are giving a request, Okay, that is nothing but a URL. You write it in the address bar, and that URL get mapped with the URL that you are going to write in url.py file. And once that is getting mapped, it is going to call that function which has been linked with that URL, and then that function is going to give you the response. So let's see this further. Okay, so that's what the steps, the create URL mapping, and then you are going to run that development server to see the result.
How we can create an application in Django, and how we are going to run our first application. So in order to create an application in Django, we require a file called as manage.py file, which is there inside this folder. So definitely we need to move one directory inside. So with the help of cd, that is change directory, we are moving one directory inside. So I'm getting into that directory, my project. So I'm into this folder now. Now I can access this manage.py. So with the help of command, that is Python manage.py start app, and your application name, let's say hello app is my application name. So once I hit the enter key, we are going to get a folder automatically created over here. You can see an hello application folder has been created with all the required files for the application to run. You have all the files over here. Now, whenever you create an application, you need to register, or you need to add the name of that application in the installed app section of your settings.py file. So open your settings.py file from your my project, go to this section, installed app. So here you have the bunch of built-in applications that are there in Django. Now here we are going to add this hello app. Okay, so I've added the hello app so that your Django recognize it. Okay, otherwise the system doesn't recognize it and your app won't work properly. So it's mandatory to add an application name into this install app section. Now once we have done with it, now we are going to write a view, okay, which is nothing but the one who is going to provide a response to your browser. So here we are going to create a view which is nothing but a response given to your browser, the one who gives a response to your browser. So in views, we are going to define a function which is called as a function based view. So I'll just give a name. So we define a function in Python with the help of def keyword. We are going to have a fixed parameter called as request, and then here we are going to return a kind of string. So return, let's say we need to use a function called as http response. So from Django dot http import http response, or capital H capital. This is a function, and that function help us to provide a response to the browser. So hello world, this is my first Django app. Okay, great. So now we are ready with our view, which is a function based view. This view is going to provide a response to your client. Now, when the client is going to give you a request, which is nothing but a URL, who is going to handle that request? And for that request, this view is to be called. So we need to link that. So for that, we need to open a file called as, okay, my project. From my project, you have a urls.py. So in this, we are going to call that view. So we are going to write a path. You're going to define that. In that, I'm going to have home, because we are going to match with the home. And then you are going to call that home. Okay, the name of the view that we have given is views file dot home. Now this view you need to import. This is what the view that we need to import. So from hello app, import views. Okay, from hello app, okay, I have imported views. Views, I have imported it. So I'm using it, and from that views, I'm going to call which function? This home function. Okay, so let's run the server and see the execution. So Python manage.py run server. Okay, Python manage.py run server. So I'm hitting that enter key, and I'll be getting a server running at my end. See, my server is running, and it's running at this IP address and post. I'll copy this. I'll go to my browser. Okay, so I'll try to paste it, and over here we are given /home. So when I hit this enter key, and this request that will be mapped with this URL home, and this is going to call which function? Home function from views.py, which is nothing but it's going to return you this string on the browser. So what we are expecting now, we are expecting a string on the browser. Okay, so let me go to this. I'll just hit enter key. See, I got that string on my browser, which is written over here. So my this function is written a response to your browser. So congratulations, you have developed your first app.
From Itvedant, visit the link below to schedule a free one-on-one counseling session at your nearest Itvedant center. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel.